I realized my wife was cheating when I found her second phone, fully charged and tucked inside a box of winter gloves in the back of our closet. It was a Wednesday. For 6 months, I'd sensed a shift. The subtle distance, the new passwords on her devices, the late work meetings that never appeared on her shared calendar. Claire was careful, but not careful enough. The phone was a cheap burner, the kind you buy with cash. It buzzed in my hand as I held it, a text lighting up the locked screen. Can't wait for tomorrow, 7 p.m., usual place. The contact was saved as PT, which she'd laughingly told me stood for physical therapy. I didn't confront her. Instead, I became an archivist of my own crumbling marriage. I noted the new, more expensive perfume she wore only on days she met PT. I saw the extra charge on our credit card for a downtown parking garage every Thursday evening. I heard the vague, overly detailed stories about her friend Sarah's constant crises, which always required her presence. The following Thursday, I called her office at 6:45 p.m. Her assistant said she'd left for the day. I drove to the parking garage, my stomach a knot of cold dread. I waited in my car, parked across the street. At 7:10 p.m., I saw her. She was laughing, walking arm in arm with a man I recognized from her company holiday party, Mark from finance. They weren't heading to a gym or a clinic. They walked into an intimate, dimly lit bistro, the kind with curtained booths. She leaned into him, a gesture that was once reserved for me. I drove home, the road blurry before me. I sat in our dark kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator, the only sound. When she came home 2 hours later, flushed and smelling of wine and garlic, her story was ready. Sarah's just a mess, honey. We lost track of time talking. I'm exhausted. She kissed my cheek, her lips a ghost of familiarity. You must be, I said, my voice steady. You should get some rest. The next day, I hired someone. The evidence returned in a tidy clinical file. Photographs, time-stamped logs, hotel receipts from towns an hour away. The affair was 8 months old. The lies were meticulous. The parallel life she'd built was mundane in its cliché, but devastating in its execution. I planned my move for a week. I met with a lawyer. I quietly separated our finances. I packed a bag and placed it in my trunk. On Friday night, as she was getting ready for another girls' night, I sat on the edge of our bed. She was applying the expensive perfume at her vanity. Don't bother, I said. She met my eyes in the mirror. What? Mark can probably smell last week's lies on you anyway. You don't need more perfume. The brush clattered from her hand. The color drained from her face. Liam, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the Sutton Hotel in Ridgewood. I'm talking about every Thursday for the past 8 months. I'm talking about the phone in the glove box. I spoke calmly, listing facts as if reading a grocery list. Your PT texts, the parking garage receipts. I know everything, Claire. The excuses tumbled out, frantic and pathetic. It didn't mean anything. It was a mistake. We've grown apart. The script was so worn it was transparent. I stood up, took my wedding band off, and placed it on the dresser with a final, soft click. Your things will be packed tomorrow. My lawyer will be in touch. You can explain all this to Sarah tonight. I'm sure she'll be very supportive. The look on her face was a mosaic of shock, panic, and dawning desolation. It was the confirmation I didn't know I needed. I walked out of the bedroom, down the stairs, and out of the house. I didn't slam the door. I closed it softly, sealing away the life she had broken. The relief was immediate, a painful, sharp inhalation of truth after months of suffocating on lies. The grief would come later. But for now, in the quiet of my car, I was free.